Hello YouTube, thank you very much for tuning into my channel, and today we're going to be discussing graphic design, the elements and the principle. So those are the things that make graphic design possible. Without we're going to just walk through what graphic design is all about, the art, what graphic design is all about. Then we lay a foundation, then we begin our design from the scratch. So I'll show you how to build your own design, how to create your own concept, practical ways in which you can do that and achieve a very beautiful result. So you can start right now. Any visual communication can be referred to as graphic design. So those visual communications can be in either words, it can be either images, to convey information to an audience. So not just conveying the information to the audience, but to create a particular effect, all right, or to cause an action to happen. The idea is that graphic design is beyond just maybe a flyer, although it is, but I want us to see it in a very more basic way, and that is it's just a way of communicating. So if your graphic design, if your design is not communicating anything, even with your picture or your words, that means the aim has been defeated. Okay, so it should be able to communicate. It should be an idea that should be able to convey a certain kind of information, to create a kind of effect. So there are basic elements that we're going to look at. Those elements are the elements that make graphic design happen, and one of those elements are lines. Lines is one of the basic and the simplest unit of this skill, that you must learn how to use those lines. And those lines can be curved lines, they can be straight lines, they can be thick and thin lines, they can be two-dimensional, and the rest of it. So they are just 2 points that is traveling in a space, okay, to meet each other. Graphic design. So these are the elements you are going to be looking out for in every graphic design we're going to be analyzing, because I'm going to be using some of my works or some of the works out there on Pinterest to demonstrate what we are talking about. So shapes is a two-dimensional defined area, two-dimensional defined area created by lines. So those shapes include geometric shapes, abstract shapes, and organic shapes. So you can see on the screen the geometric shape, the abstract shapes, and the organic shape. So you see what they actually look like. All right, so the geometric shapes are the normal shapes, you know, the square, the rectangle, the circle, and all that. The abstract shapes were gotten from those geometric shapes, you know, combined in one way or the other. Then the organic shapes are still shapes, but they look like stuff that is drawn with pencil, you know, but they are shapes, okay, but they are manipulated by human. It is beyond, it is not a geometric, as it were. Organic shapes, they look more like real life objects. All right, so we have colors. Color is a very important element of graphic design. As serious as it is, colors evoke emotions, colors evoke some kind of psychological feeling. Okay, so when you have a certain kind of color in your design, it has something to say about that design. For example, if you want to do an art for a food company, all right, there are certain colors that you are advised to use depending on what the brand wants or what they produce. Okay, so we are still going to walk down into colors when we'll start making our designs, the ones that is going to be color sensitive. So colors have three basic characteristics, and those characteristics are the hue, the HUE, and the value, and the saturation. So the hue is the color family. The hue is the color family. It defines color. So you can use hue, same thing as color. So The value is how light or dark the color is, and the saturation simply is the purity of the color. How vibrant, how saturated, how pure is that color? Is it completely harsh, completely concentrated, all right, at the spot, or no? So we'll talk about the typography. Typography in different typography is actually basically made up of two things: the typography, the type, and the font. So the type is just those characters you just written out. The fonts are those things. Is more like the font determines the style. Okay, so fonts that are combined in different sizes, colors, and spaces have a very, very powerful impact on your design. All right, if it is well done, it's very, very powerful. It's very nice. All right, so we talk about this texture. Now when you look at some of the designs you see out there, you see that some designs, some text feel as though they are smooth. Some designs text feel as though they are glossy. Some of them feel rough, and what have you. So it determines the look you have on that design when you touch it. But many a times now you can actually determine the touch by looking at it. So there are some designs, especially when you look at some mock-ups that are out there, you already feel, for example, look at this leather mock-up right now. All right, so you already know that this will feel. Take a look at this smoother one. Okay, look around here. Okay, so you imagine that it's going to feel a little bit glossy and glassy. All right, so now another element that most people neglect a lot is size. Size is a very, very important element in graphic design. Trust me. Your design and the elements, other elements in your design have to come in proportion. There has to be hierarchy. There has to be things that needs more attention. There have to be things that need less attention. Okay, so sizes, okay, you can say it's how small or big something is looking, especially in, okay. So in designs, size is used as an indication of importance. It can also create visual interest in a design by using contrasting sizes. All right, white spaces are very, very good. White spaces are supposed to be observed in your designs. All right, talking of white spaces, we talk of blank areas. Okay, so this includes just distance between items on your designs and items on your design. So designers actually like to use white spaces in their design and add emphasis in some areas. So you need to know this and have it at the tip of your finger. So thank you very much for joining this class. See you in the next class.